What strengths does Joshua have?
Абсолютно никаких странностей. Боксер, достаточно обученный.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. Oh no. Oh no. So we just heard there, or we just read there, from Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah? Now, your boy the YB has received quite a bit of backlash from some goofy dons there, telling me I don't know about boxing, telling me that they like AJ's. In fact, tell I. Not only do they like AJ's new style of boxing, but that it's his best way of boxing and it's the best thing since sliced bread. That's been the reaction to my comments. And for you man who don't know, my comments have essentially been, I believe AJ's best style of boxing and his best way of winning the fight against Usyk will be an aggressive style of boxing. He will dominate, or in my opinion, he would dominate the centre of the ring. He will drive Usyk back to the ropes with a jab. His elbows will be in tight. His chin will be down. He'll step forward. He'll feint on the way in. He'll get Usyk back to the ropes. And he'll open up with 1, 2, 3 punch combinations, like a metronome. He'll get busy on the inside against the ropes. He'll lean on Usyk against the ropes. He'll tie him up at will and whip some uppercuts into the body, mauling all over him, weighing all over him, hanging on him. AJ is 6'6". Usyk is 6'3", soaking wet. How about that? He's soaking wet. 180 pounds. I don't care. Oh, YB is 210. He 180. To AJ, he 180. How about that? Yeah? And what do we do with 180 pound, 6'3" dons? We drown them, yeah? You can't drown someone when you're bouncing on your toes. You go in there with your knees bent and you wail all over him. Let him carry you, and then you'll whip some uppercuts in there for good measure, and then you'll wail on him some more. And then at will you step out and drive some more jab right into him for him. How about that? Yeah. You just, essentially, if you haven't caught on the drift here, you do what you please with him. If you want to wail on him, you wail on him. If you want to drive the jab down his clot, you drive the jab down his clot. If you want to play 1-2, you play 1-2. If you want to play inside, you play inside. Yeah? If you want to hang on, you know what I'm saying? If you want to hang, wail over him, you wail over him. That's what I'm saying should happen. It should be a grueling lesson of boxing. That's what it should be. What it shouldn't be is 10 rounds in and everyone, Peter Fury, Carl Froch, are wondering what's going on for 6 rounds. The YB, everyone can't work out what's going on. Going into the championship rounds and it's 50-50. Yet no damage been really landed. There's been no pace set. There's been no domination. There's been no consistency aggressively. That can't work again, I'm sorry. Pulev, for me, Pulev and Usyk are one of the same. I'd say Usyk is slicker. Obviously, he's probably a bit of a better boxer, but Pulev's bigger. So, whatever way, however you want to work it out, they're about the same. Yeah? And what worries me more is the fact that Usyk, if anything, is slicker and a bit more nimble. Well, a lot more nimble than Pulev. So I'm thinking if it took you 11 rounds and you barely got Pulev out of there, how many is it going to take against Usyk, who's more defensively acute as well? And he will give you more to think about offensively, in my opinion. Pulev's too scary. Pulev is super scary. Pulev didn't throw a punch, which again worries me even more because if AJ goes 11 rounds against a man who wasn't throwing his hands, if AJ spends half the fight dancing away from a man who isn't throwing anything, if AJ spends 11 rounds on the outside of the ring against a man who isn't throwing anything, what's going to happen when he's in the ring with a man who's throwing something back, who likes to counterpunch? And that's why it's so important, in my opinion, that you don't worry about what he's doing. You worry about what you're doing. And if he throws the odd shot here and there, so be it. Give him some. He should be the one. That's the point here. He should be the one worrying about things. That's what I don't get some of you alleged AJ fans telling me, you're scary. Why are we worrying about what he's doing for? I just don't get that. What he's doing don't factor in what I'm talking about whatsoever. Why? AJ is 6'6", he 250 pounds, he got a better chin, he more powerful. When you have all these attributes on your side, you don't need to factor in what he may or may not do. I can't understand it. Oh, AB, AJ needs the footwork because he's gonna need to what? He's gonna need to march him down, back him up to the ropes, and get to work and wail over him. That's what you're gonna need to do about footwork. Footwork for what? Show me. I'll tell you what to do. Because Alvarez has fought Billy Ho Saunders, something similar to Usyk's. I think Usyk's is better, but still, the principle is he don't see. How much footwork did Canelo Alvarez need? How much? And this is what I mean. You guys, I'm sorry, but you man don't really know boxing. You just don't. Because I can't for the life of me understand people trying to tell me about how you need footwork to cut a ring off. What are you talking about? Cutting the ring off, you're going forward, and you're cutting the ring off. There's nothing footwork about it. What are you talking about? Show me the footwork Alvarez needed to cut the ring off against Billy Ho. Show me it. Show me the footwork Mike Tyson needed to cut the ring off against said whoever. Show me the footwork Derek Chisora needed. Don't get me wrong, cutting the ring off it's a technique, but it's not what AJ's been doing. Not at all. I haven't seen AJ cut the ring off once in about 10 years. To be truthful, he just don't cut the ring off no more. He's too busy dancing around and being scary. Truth be known. Usyk loves to run around, and that's what Chisora. What did Chisora, who in my opinion was paid to back off, he was struggling to get on top of Usyk because he was so slippery. So in my opinion, AJ may actually find himself in a tricky situation here. If he's not training to fight someone like Usyk, you have to prepare like Mike Tyson or Canelo Alvarez. Otherwise, you end up like Klitschko versus Fury. In as much as Klitschko wasn't training to cut the ring off, he was training like he normally does. Kind of that middle range kind of stuff. Just being average. You can't catch a runner being average. You have to go in there with a particular discipline, a cut the ring off discipline. It's a different mindset. Cutting the ring off is a skill in itself, and AJ ain't practicing cutting the ring off. He just ain't. I haven't seen no footage of it. And guess what? He ain't been doing it in none of his fights either. He weren't cutting the ring off against Pulev. And if you don't do that, you end up, like I said, like Klitschko versus Fury. You end up just bamboozled in the middle of the ring and not sure what to do. And I guess that's even different anyway, because Fury's a different ball game, because Fury is equally as big. But Usyk's a small man who's fiddly with the feet. It should be. I don't understand why we're having a debate here. And guess what? People who know boxing, Shane McGuigan, say exactly the same thing the YB's saying. It's not rocket science here. Use your attributes. You build a game plan around your attributes, and you fine tune them to all of your opponents. Now Usyk, who's got fiddly feet and is small, AJ's best difference is using his size and what he's God gifted at. Because AJ isn't just big, big for nothing. Oh well, he's big. No, I'm not saying that. He's not only big, he has nasty combinations, even for big men. And that's what I've always said. I believe AJ should walk down even Fury and even the biggest men in the heavyweight division. Why? Because he's better at that anyway. Even men his own size, he's better than them. He's better at it than them. Look at Dillian White. He's as big as AJ. What happened to him? He got crunched. Now, has AJ got 10 out of 10 offensive skill? No. Did he have 10 out of 10 offensive skill when he fought Dillian? No, but he hasn't been improving it. So when people say things like, oh, but YB, he got caught, look at what happened against Ruiz. Yeah, he wasn't 10 out of 10 offensive skill then, was he? And he's not today either, because he spent all of his time completely changing his identity and turning into Tyson Fury 2.0. So he's not going to Of course, he can't ever go on the inside, or of course he can't be aggressive now because he ain't been training it. He ain't been preparing for it. He's completely changed himself over one loss. Rather than backing himself and doubling down and saying, you know what, I got caught. It's my fault. I got complacent. Which is the worst thing about it all is that he's actually admitted this. He's admitted he got complacent. So I'm confused. You admitted you got complacent. You admitted you took things for granted. But yet you changed all your strategy. Why not say, you know what? I was complacent. I was taking things for granted. Now I need to really do my homework on how to be a true offensive demon. Not, well, I was being lazy and not really honing my skills so much. But scrap that. I'll just change the book and do something else completely. What? Who does that? It's mad. I'm sorry. What's happened to AJ, and I've said it before, Rob McCracken needs to be put in sport in jail. It's one of the biggest travesties in sport history. What's happened to AJ? They've taken one of the greatest offensive boxing athletes of all time, and they've just squandered it and turned him into a Roadrunner 2.0. And what makes it even more shocking is the fact that even when he fights people like Pulev, it's still burning within him, which is why we see him go crazy and stuff. It's not good crazy. It's going mad, throwing massive shots and missing most of them. It shows the fire is still burning, but Rob McCracken and the team don't know what they're doing. They're 10 out of 10 incompetent. That's what it shows. Because if AJ was fully Roadrunner, you've never seen Fury just start opening up, have you? No, because don't have that in him. He don't have that burn. He doesn't have that line in him. He just don't have it. Yeah. Hey, Fury can do 12 rounds and never once feel the need to just get stuck in. AJ has it. It's on the tip of his toe. It's on the tip of his tongue to let his hands go. That just needed, as we found out against Ruiz, that just needed to be honed and more concentrated. Like who? Like Alvarez. Alvarez, he's managed to hone that fire. He puts it, in my opinion, he's overhoned it. He puts it into one or two big shots. But either way, the way Alvarez does it, even if it's not perfect, it's damn sight, it's the next best thing. He hones that ferociousness. He cuts the ring off like a metronome. Bang, bang, reset. Cut the ring off. Bang, bang, reset. Cut the ring off. Bang, bang. You're winning every round. He wins every... Canelo Alvarez wins every round. Against everyone. Because you can't... These guys can't... They can't hang with it. Now AJ, in my opinion, he's even more suited to that style. And he ain't doing it. He's dancing around. He's not even jabbing anymore. One of his best assets, the jab. He ain't even using it no more, really. He ain't dominating with a jab. He ain't busting no one up. Show me the last time you saw AJ bust someone up with a jab. Even the Ruiz rematch, he weren't bust up. Ruiz wasn't even fit. He was way overweight. If anyone should have been bust up with a jab, it should have been Ruiz. Why? Because he was heavier than ever, which means slower than ever. Massive target. If anyone should have been fully bust with a jab, it should have been him. He wasn't. I mean, look at the Brazil fight. Ruiz is as stationary as Brazil is. Brazil got his DNA altered. Anyway, I know I've rambled on again, but it's all relevant. And the reason I've spent some time doing that to start the video off is because look at the comments here from Usyk. I see absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. AJ is an average fighter. Quite well trained, but I do not see anything not ordinary. So he's basically saying, well, not basically, he's saying AJ is ordinary. Yeah? How about that? That to me, I know he's never going to come on here and say, oh, AJ's the best thing since sliced bread, but who are we as men? You have to ask yourself the question, who are we as men and as fighters? Not me, I'm not a fighter, but if I was people who are fighters, if I was training a fighter, I'd ask him, who are you as a man? Are you a man who will sit there and listen to a 6'3", 180-pound man tell you are ordinary? Or are you going to listen to that and say, yeah, you know, I am ordinary, I'm just going to go 12 rounds with you? Or are you going to go in there and show him how unordinary or how extraordinary a 6'6" Africanulese really is. Because in my mind, when I hear that, I think, okay, yeah. Let's show him how ordinary we really are. Yeah? But let's give him all the ordinary. Let's whisper ordinary in his ear when we're weighing all over him. Yeah? When we're riding his hind legs off him. That's what I'm thinking. But, unfortunately, what's Rob McCracken thinking? What's AJ thinking? They thinking, oh yeah, well, you know, if we can get through this and survive, and if we can just nick a win, and yep, that's what they thinking. I ain't thinking like that. Not with AJ. If I had some other fighter, I don't know, pick someone, Tom Little, random, you know what I'm saying? If you have a run of a mill fighter, I get that kind of attitude. Yeah, let's get the win, get the dub. And Rob McCracken got that from Carl Froch. I'm sorry, people like Carl Froch. He's a great fighter, but he's got a great mentality, but he's pretty, in terms of world level, he's pretty average. So when Carl Froch was fighting the best people, yep, him getting the W was great. He didn't have all the bells and whistles like AJ does, in my opinion. AJ is that kind of once in a lifetime athlete who it's your duty to the fans, to yourself, to everyone. You owe it to everyone, all the stakeholders, yourself included, yourself mostly, as a trainer and as an athlete. You owe it to set the expectations high. And I've seen some comments, a win's a win. No, I don't know what, it's the thing, I'm not being horrible, but I'm sure some of you dons, yeah, you ain't been to high level sport before. So you don't know a win. No, a win isn't just a win. Not when you're dealing with these kind of athletes. A win isn't just a win. I'm sorry. It's not. That's what you tell kids at schools. Oh, a win's a win. Yeah, come on, little Johnny. Everyone gets a medal. No, don't work like that. A top level sport, you owe it. At the pinnacle of sport, as AJ is at, he owes it to everyone to really display what to really show what he's working with, especially when people are saying he's ordinary. Because Usyk and Lomachenko, they show all this frilly stuff and they think they're really hot. They think they're really hot shit. They do. Why? Because they've been allowed to think that. Again, why? Because guess what? A cruiserweight, no one wanted to stick it on him. No one was good enough. Everyone had that ordinary mindset. Oh, well, if we can just get a win, if we can just go Gassiev, if I can just go 50-50, if I can just survive, I'll be happy with that. That was the mentality and the caliber of fighter at cruiserweight. None of them was whatever. They weren't nothing, relatively speaking. And to be fair, yeah, maybe Usyk is really a great all-time cruiserweight. Fine. But guess what? We ain't at cruiserweight now, which is the point here. Not only is he not all that, in my opinion, at cruiserweight, he's also coming up to your weight. This isn't even just another heavyweight telling you you're ordinary. This man's coming from another weight. And he wasn't all that. He wasn't even all that at his own weight, in my opinion. He weren't stopping people. He weren't stopping the best people in his division. He weren't all that himself. And he coming up, saying you're ordinary. And you've got anything but pure domination on your mind. Oh, but YB, he might get caught. Usyk can knock him out. I don't know, man. Me personally, if Usyk is good enough to knock AJ out, if Usyk is good enough to knock AJ out in a toe-to-toe fight, AJ should retire anyway, in my opinion. That's how I feel. If AJ don't believe that, if AJ believes Usyk would knock him out in a toe-to-toe battle, then just retire. That's what I think. Because if you're scared of a cruiserweight, or if you think the cruiserweight's got your number or could possibly put you out, then what are we doing here? Isn't it? Think it seriously. If you think the cruiserweight has your number or has the ability to clip you more than you can clip him, then what are we doing here? And that's what I said to you, man, before the Ruiz fight. I said, if I was in AJ's camp, I'd have told him, listen, AJ, do you believe Ruiz has a better chin than you? Do you believe he's more powerful than you? Do you believe all these different things? Because the way you fought him, that's the That's how it came across. It comes across like you kind of conceded to Ruiz. You know what, Ruiz? You got my number. I must change now. Them last 10 years of building my reputation and building my identity, I'm throwing it all out the window. Because you are the Omega. You are the Alpha to me. That's how it looks. I'm just being calling a spade here. Because even the game plan AJ implemented against Ruiz 2, there was no spite in it whatsoever. There was no get back. Especially given now we know that Ruiz was massively overweight and not trained and whatnot. He was begging to be touched. But there was no touching in there. It was all bare bones minimum. No risk. No spite. No get back. It was, wow, you got my number. You got me fully scary. A leopard's gonna change spots. Kinda, you know what I'm saying? He had you on some trans thing. Yeah, 100%. Andy Ruiz had AJ on some trans thing. He turned into a transformer. AJ was looking to change his identity on a rainbow thing, no doubt. You might be mad, but it's a fact, it's truth. Right or wrong? You man, if you disagree with me, yeah, what other fighter had AJ change all of his stuff up? Even Vlad. When Vlad put AJ down, what did AJ do? With Tony Sims in the corner? Did he say, oops, I've been hit with one big shot, I'm out of here. Let me start skeeting around the side of the ring. No. What did he do in the 11th round when he recovered? Despite being massively unfit and overweight, what did he do? He bit down on the gum shield and opened up and smoked one of the greatest fighters in the last however many years. Oops. Tony Sims goes. Ruiz, massively overweight, couldn't punch. To Bob Arum had to get rid of him because he can't punch. Hits AJ on one of his worst nights. When AJ's even admitted there was stuff going on outside of the camp. What does AJ do? Does he double down on himself like he did against Vlad? Nope. Tony Sims is gone. Rob McCrappen's there. What does Rob McCrappen do? Yeah, you're right, AJ. We chinless. We best change. We best get on our rainbow thing and transform. Yeah? We trans. We not who we thought we are. We different. You transition. That's what happened. Andy Ruiz made AJ transition. Essentially. It's the truth. It's a travesty that we have to watch this now. An athlete with the greatest ability in the world. In my opinion. And people say, oh, IB, you right, AJ, and all this other stuff. No. I call a spade a spade. AJ, I've told you before, AJ is the greatest, has the greatest potential in heavyweight boxing history. I believe he can go down as the greatest ever. Empirically speaking. AJ trained the right way. I would back to beat any fighter in heavyweight history. Trained the right way. And with his mindset the right way. And I told you, man, before, but look at Lawrence Okoli. Look at what he's said. Look how much difference a great trainer can make. A great trainer can take you from super scary to icing dons with one shot. And a bad trainer can do the opposite. You got a cruiserweight out here talking the most. So who are you?